Today, I'm going to get a little bit technical, and there's some audience participation required to get the maximum out of this content today. Based on a survey I conducted a couple months ago, about a third of this audience is do-it-yourself with spreadsheets, something like that. About a third of you use a comprehensive software package. My preference is Boldin. There's a link below to that. And about a third of you use a certified financial planner. No perfect answer. By the way, I don't like using Excel spreadsheets. I have a lot of videos on why I cannot recommend that. That's not the topic of this video though, but I'm resisting an urge to give my opinion on that. But many of you know that I used to be an engineer. One of my engineering principles and best practices was to ensure that I always heard the contrarian point of view. For example, if somebody wanted to replace a piece of equipment that was causing us all kinds of problems and they said, hey, let's spend $1 million on this new tooling. It's going to eliminate this quality problem. It's going to increase our throughput. It's going to be safer, all these things. Part of that justification is someone has to propose keeping the piece of equipment, why that's the best choice, what can we do, what's an alternative. So I'd like to know what my choices are. Let's not just all get excited about the one thing that we decided to do and have a confirmation bias, go out and find information that just supports our idea. Let's look at something that stretches us a little bit. Maybe an idea that we're going to say no to for the first 5 minutes, but then maybe we learn something. So that's today's video. So hold on, hang with me. Let's see if we can learn something in this video. My name's Joe. I've been retired for 6 years now, retired at 54, currently 60. Okay, I'm sharing my experience with you to perhaps help you retire 1, 2, 3 years earlier. I hear that all the time. Please, if that's you, leave me a comment. It motivates me to keep putting out content. I get 3 to 4 a day. This video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of a certified financial planner. Don't tune out, okay? And I'm specifically looking at a plan only. So creation of a plan only, not full assets under management, just creating a plan. So for 10 minutes, I want you to check your ego, okay, that I created this plan, I think it's great. And let's consider an alternative. Get out a sheet of paper, write 1, 2, 3 on up to 19 vertically. Okay, and as you listen, I want you to be honest and grade each one of these 19 categories I'm going to talk about. A means I've got it. I've got this covered. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident I know what I'm doing. I've got this covered. A. C means I think I'm doing okay on that. I think I'm maybe an average. I kind of know what I'm doing. There may be a few more things to learn. And F is a fail. So A, C, or F are your only grades you're given. Okay, so let's get right into this. And this is under a category of expertise in retirement planning. That's just what I called it. Number 1, budgeting. Do you have expert advice from someone with experience dealing with people putting together budgets to make sure they lived comfortably without depleting all their assets before they die, can spend with confidence? It includes go-go spending, slow-go spending, one-time purchases, unplanned expenses. What have you missed based on their expertise in dealing with clients every single day? Also, look at what are your healthcare options. Don't put in assumptions for healthcare. What are you going to do before the age of 65? A, C, or F, right? Okay, number 2, what's your withdrawal plan? Ensuring that you don't run out of money. Accumulating money is easy. You go in on your 401k or whatever your plan is and you say, I'm going to save 10%, 16%. You get the company match and you just rinse and repeat for 35 years. Withdrawing is completely different. How do you withdraw to maximize your money, minimize your taxes, okay? Maximize your withdrawals, impact inflation. There's a lot of things to consider on how you're going to take money out. Are you going to take money out the same way when the market is up 20% as you will when it's down 20%? What can you do? You can just use something like the 4% rule, which I don't think nobody spends money that way. So what are you going to do? That was number 2. Number 3, income planning. How do all your assets work with your income, such as a pension, Social Security, annuity you may have, rentals? That adds some complexity, some changes. That steady income coming in. How does it work? How does it work with your particular assets you have? Should you change your asset mix because of these incomes? Probably yes. Tax optimization. So this is number 4. Tax efficient withdrawals, short term. Okay, where is it best right now, this quarter, this month, whenever you're taking out money, if you take it out monthly, quarterly, yearly, where's the best asset at this point in time to take your money from to minimize your taxes? Where is it? Number 5, what's your tax plan long term? What do your taxes look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, at RMD time? Assuming your assets grow at a certain rate, what's your tax bracket going to be when you're 75, 85? Do you know that? Do you have clear vision of that? What can you do about that now to minimize those taxes? This can be hundreds of thousands of dollars impact to your portfolio. Hundreds of thousands. For most people, it depends on how much assets you have and how much income you have. So I can't give a statement there. But you need to know if you don't know what your RMD payments are going to be, assuming a certain inflation, spend rate, and rates of return. If you don't have clear vision of that, you need an F. Okay, number 6, Social Security timing. What's the best Social Security timing to help out with your taxes? Yes, they are related. They're connected, okay? I'm planning on taking taxes at 69 or 70, which allows me to have a lower income when I'm 60 now. And so it's lower income, so I can do more Roth conversions, lower my taxes at RMD time. So what's the timing of Social Security that can help me with tax? More on Social Security to come. So number 7 is inflation protection. What investments can I have to reduce the impact of inflation or to protect me from inflation? Something like I-bonds, municipal bonds. What can you do? What should you do given the climate that your expert foresees? That was number 7, inflation protection. Number 8, minimize investment risk. Here's a big change that I went through, I'm sure you'll go through. Accumulation is all about maximizing returns. Very simple. Put everything in the S&P 500 when you're 22 years old and just fast forward 32, 35 years, whatever. As you approach retirement, you need to change from maximizing returns to safety. If you're planning on retirement in 6 months, if you got everything in the stock market and the stock market goes down 40%, are you going to retire that year? If you have things positioned correctly, like I use buckets, bucket 1 money is out of the market, that stock market drop of 40, 50% doesn't matter. I don't like it, but it doesn't change the timing of my retirement. So how are you going to minimize risk by what assets you buy? U.S. stocks, international stocks, bonds, T-bills, money market funds, cash. What can you do to minimize risk so that you can enjoy your retirement? You do not want to retire and then market go down 40%, then you have to put your head in under a rock for 2 years. What about that epic retirement? Positioning can prevent that from happening. You got to have a plan CFP can put one together for you. Number 9, long-term care and other insurance matters, okay? Looking at all your assets, looking at your health, looking at your genes. What's the best option for you around, should you buy long-term care insurance? Should you buy life insurance or any other product out there? Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's risk tolerance is going to be different. Emotional support and objectivity. This is number 10. This is a big one. Managing market volatility. When the market is going up and is at all-time highs, everybody's a genius, okay? What are you going to do when the market's down 40% and you think it's going to go down further? Okay, remember, we're all old enough to remember the great financial crisis. We didn't know if we were going to make it through this without a complete collapse of our monetary system. Complete collapse. And if you don't think that was the case, I don't think you were paying attention. The government came in and fixed some things. The Fed came in and fixed some things, and we got back on track and had a really nice bull market since then. But spending or managing your investments when the market is down and not saying, oh my gosh, just move everything to a money market fund, take everything out of the market. And this is emotional for a lot of people, but I really embrace this myself. I'm the biggest detractor to my asset returns. I am. Decisions I make. If I'm emotional, I can make a bad decision during a down market. Not during an up market. All decisions are good, right? It's easy to be brilliant. Okay, so managing and during market volatility, having somebody to talk to, critical. Somebody that you have to convince, like, hey, man, I want to go to all money market fund. I have to get on the phone or go get in my car and convince somebody logically that's the right thing to do. That process, a lot of times, it's going to talk you off the ledge of doing something stupid. Just going through that process that you have to convince somebody to do that. It's easy to go down in your basement, get on your computer and change your assets around. But having a CFP that you have to convince a CFP that this is the right thing to do, that's a big deal. I love number 10. Give yourself an A, C, or F on that one. Estate planning, number 11. A financial advisor can help you with your estate planning. Are you efficiently transferring assets to your heirs? Do you have, are you minimizing taxes as you're doing that? Sometimes people just look at minimizing taxes in their lifetime, and then they give their heirs a tax bomb that they have to manage. So estate planning. Number 12 is trust and beneficiaries. Make sure you have all your beneficiaries lined out for all of your assets for a smooth transition. And perhaps a trust is the right thing for you to shelter your assets. And if you don't know what trusts are, well, maybe you need to see a CFP. Number 13, Social Security. Understanding the how and when of Social Security. Now, earlier I talked about managing Social Security correctly for taxes, but what's the right time for you to take it, understanding how to do it, how to apply, somebody to hold your hand that has done it before, done it 150 times before, probably 350, but it's your first time. So having somebody hold your hand through that, making sure you do everything right, that's what a CFP can do. And how does it fit with all your other decisions? Your assets, when you start Social Security, do you need to change your portfolio mix from, 60-40 to 70-30 because you have this fixed income coming in adjusted for inflation? Should you change that up? That can be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you to redo your assets because Social Security is coming in. May or may not be right for you, but it's personalized attention to you. Social Security time. Number 14, help with Medicare enrollment. When's the right time to apply? What are your choices? You got Medicare Advantage, you got traditional Medicare. What are the pros and cons based on their experience? What are most people doing? You have expert knowledge of what to do and how that impacts your income, your expenses. Medicare Advantage, I think, is, practically free, where traditional Medicare cost money. But there's, there's no free lunch. There's cost and limitations when you go with one versus the other. So expert guidance through that. Number 14, Medicare enrollment. Number 15, this is under the heading of complexity. 15, divorce and inheritance, sale of a business. You got something complicated, you need somebody to help you steer it through. A mistake can be tens of thousands of dollars. 16, you have special needs or special family, special needs child, special needs adult, something complex about your family that you need help working through. And this is more common than you would imagine. Maybe it's not in your life, but most CFPs have quite a bit of experience in this area. The next category is peace of mind. This is number 17, if you're keeping track. Reducing financial stress. You're retired. You don't want to be worried about money. You don't really want to be worried about your budget, expenses, Medicare, did I sign up too early? My investments are down 28%. Inflation's up 7%. It's good to sit down and talk with somebody to say, hey, look at history. Here's the data. Here's what other people are doing. Here's what I recommend. Here's what I'm confident in. No guarantees, but you got an expert there to reduce stress and enjoy your retirement, because you're paying somebody to worry about that. I said this earlier, I am my biggest risk to my retirement success. I am, okay? So consider saying that for yourself. Emotional decisions reduce returns, okay? Number 18, customized advice, personal solutions based on your specific situation and goals. Some people want to end with $0. Some people want to end their life with a legacy of $5 million. Maybe they want to give. What's the most efficient way to give to an organization and minimize taxes, pay pre-tax, okay? Donor advised funds, things like that. Number 18, customized advice based on you. The one example I got there is giving. Number 19, retire with confidence. I'm telling you, folks, I used to do a retirement coaching. Used to provide that service. I talked to over 300 clients. 2/3 of those people could retire right now. And they were just stuck in working one more year. They wanted the confidence to retire. So this one's huge for me, is what's it worth to you to retire at the earliest possible date? What's it worth to you? Going with an expert gives you better chances of retiring at the right time. That was number 19. So now take a look at your ratings, A, C, and F. This may be a surprise, but just one C and one F, one C or one F can be devastating to your retirement. Devastating. And cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Can you fix it confidently? Maybe it's something you can research, get on YouTube, talk to a few people, you can fix it. Okay? Second thing I'll ask is, would a certified financial planner rate your 19 the exact same way you did? Are you overconfident? Retirement is a major life decision. And having a guide, man, means a lot. When my wife and I travel to Europe, we haven't done it since COVID, but I go with a guide. I have somebody on the bus. I'm with a group of maybe 30 people, and I've got somebody on a guide telling me what to do, what I'm looking at when I'm going through Italy. They point out different landmarks that I would have just driven by. I love having a guide walking me through, an expert on Italy or expert on Florence, walking me through the town of Florence and saying, look at this landmark, here's the history. I like having a guide. Call me lazy. When I travel the United States, I do all the planning myself. When I travel international, I love having a guide. Neil Fort Wendell, is my guy. Okay, he created my plan for me 7 years ago. It's hard to believe I went to him a year before I retired. I'm still with him. My quarter 3 update for 2024 showed me that I have 50% more net worth than I had the day I retired. My investments have done pretty good. Neil's helped me manage through that. I meet with him 4 times a year. He sends me an email about once a week. I think we just kind of feed and learn off each other a little bit. Based on my nudging and coaching with Neil, he began to offer a plan-only service. He was full assets under management. Took me 18 months, and he's finally offering this service. He actually went one giant leap past what I asked for. I asked him to create a plan-only, and he created a plan-only service with 12 months of engagement. 12 months. That means meetings, emails, whatever you want, coaching for 12 months. So you sign up with him for plan only. You don't just get a piece of paper and a review, an hour discussion. Here's what I would do. Here's my recommendations. Here's what I think is the best path forward for you, and you get acceptance of that. No, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, 6 months later, if somehow things change in the economy or you're aware of something new, you can reach out to Neil 12 months. His base price for basic plan is between $3,000 and $4,000. Depends on complexity. Okay, depends on complexity. So like if you're selling a business or you've got some special situation, sometimes those take a little more time. So he estimates time. So his contact information is below. Look up Neil Fort Wendell. Tell him Joe sent you. Call him today. He is just getting caught up from the last video I made talking about what he offers. The first step, when you call the number, tell them your name, Neil or Jessica will call you back. And there's going to be a free 20-minute call to see if you're a match. There may not be a match. You may talk 20 minutes with Neil and Neil said, hey, I can't provide that for you. Or you may be a perfect match, okay? So there's got to be a match. Neil is a busy guy. He's adding this service on to what he normally does. And he enjoys it. He thinks it's adding great value because it's an underserved market, plan only. But reach out to him, set up your first 20-minute free call to just talk and see if you got a match with him. So that's my pitch for plan only. I think when you look at the big scheme of your retirement, a plan only is a very smart place to start. Okay, very smart place. Maybe you don't have to do it in year 2. Maybe you want to do a plan update every 3rd year. I don't know. Work that out with Neil. But the initial one, estimate $3,500. You can have a professionally created plan based on these 19 points, plus any customization that you need. This is Joe out.